Today is the third day in the month of May 2025. It is a Saturday and I'm at work and somebody is in the studio with me. It feels weird. But we're going to, record it anyways. I've declared that this year I'm not going to not record an episode. I had a guest, but he's unavailable, so I needed to record something to make sure, something goes live every Thursday. Today I want to talk about Audacity. If you started listening to me from like the first episode I released this year, you would know that I spoke about a book that gave me the ginger to want to go out and do things for myself. The name of that book is The Artist's Way, and it is by Julia Cameron. Now that book has exposed me to a lot of things I've always thought about, but I didn't really like give heed to it because I didn't think it mattered. One thing about not really doubting yourself, but you don't really know because maybe you're ignorant, but your spirit tells you things, you encounter things, but you don't really know the importance until someone tells you that this is actually important or this actually worked for me, and you're like, aha. So you always kind of like need a second person confirmation to know that what you thought about was actually, worthy or important. A lot of us go through that. And, when you're making decisions, it's like you always wait for people to help you make decisions. You need to grow. You need to grow from that. But I digress. So one of the things that we were being told by Julia Cameron to do in that book was morning pages. Now, morning pages is a 3 pages writing you do every morning. So every morning when you wake up, maybe after your prayers and you're trying to, settle into your day, you bring out a particular book and write 3 pages of your streams of thoughts, of the things that are on your mind, of the things that you have always wanted to tell somebody, but you didn't know how to tell it to that person. Just about everything. You can rant, you can vent, you can be excited, you can be angry, you can be sad, you can release all your frustration, all your pent-up anger on these pages in your morning page. So this was one of the first things we did, and it was one of the things that would last throughout the course of you trying to recover your creativity. I am currently in week 9. Now, I started this thing since January. I should be done. But some weeks are harder than other weeks. So some weeks, if I feel like I didn't do well, or if I feel like I didn't get the gem I was meant to get in a particular week, what I do is I go and redo it again. Aside from morning page, there's another one called Artist Date. Artist Date is the one that you do every week. Once in a week, actually. Every week you take yourself out on a date, and it must be solo. You won't go with anybody. It's just you, yourself, and yourself. You go for this artist date on anything that you have always wanted to do. Maybe you wanted to try out this restaurant, you wanted to go to a bookshop, you wanted to do karaoke, like whatever it is you have been wanting, dying to do. That artist date is your opportunity to take yourself out on a date. I've always wanted to go out on dates, but this book gave me the opportunity to explore even more. Like, it gave me a reason. Before, I didn't have a reason. I was like, oh, whenever I feel like doing it, but because I must do it every week, it gave me the opportunity to explore every week. Now, I'm in week 9, so every time I get to redo is a 12-week course. So I have like roughly 3 weeks to be done with this course. It will be a sad time to be done with it, but I'll carry some of the lessons I learned from it, like my morning page and artist date. I would not, and also strolling for 20 minutes every week. I would never give it up for anything. Now, week 9, one of the tasks in week 9 was for us to go and read our morning pages. At week 1, she told us to never read our morning pages after writing it. So never go back. After writing your morning pages, just throw it far away from you. Never go back to your morning page. But at week 9, she now told us that we should go and read it. And I started reading my writings from January. I intend to read both January, February, March. We're in May now. I intend to read January, February. This is insane. I've never journaled for 4 months at a stretch. Like, since 2025 started, I've been journaling every freaking morning. Every morning I've been journaling. Of course, there are some oddballs, like some days that we didn't really journal the way we were meant to. Some days we skipped. But since 2025 started, I've always been journaling. So I went back to what I wrote in January, and I realized that the theme of my writings in January, because that's the only month I've read, the theme was audacity. The theme was courage. The theme was dispelling fear. The theme was being strong willed. And this is one thing I love about journaling. You can write something consistently and never even think about it. But because you have written that thing for a numerous amount of time, it becomes your attitude, it becomes ingrained in you. Now, backward to let's rewind to March when I even became more outspoken about people being audacious, people going for what they want, people taking charge of their life. Was it March or April? I think April. Yes, I think it's April. April was when I posted a week of the affirmation of the week where I said, go out into the world and be audacious and do things with audacity. I didn't remember that I had written consecutively throughout January about me being audacious, about how I want to be more audacious, more courageous, more fearless, more brave, and more courageous. I didn't think of that. I didn't even remember that at all. I didn't even remember that audacity was one word that was always in my mind when 2025 started. Now, April, just me talking about it and not remembering that I had written about it was mind-blowing to me. Because I started reading my money pages from January this morning, and I was saying audacity. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I didn't even think I thought about audacity anytime this year. And I think that's one thing people should realize about writing their dreams down or journaling about anything at all. You will never know the impact of what you are writing, or how worthy or how weighty the thing you're writing would be, until you come back months later, years later, to read it. And you're like, what? I was really thinking about this. It just makes you realize that human beings are forgetful, and we can easily forget things. Your memory cannot be trusted. Like you saying, oh, I'll remember, and not writing it down or not storing it in somewhere where you can go to and have access to it. We can never, ever, downplay the impact of storing things, writing things down. Because here's down the line, like some of the notes I wrote in 2023, I'll just go back and just read them, and I'll just be like, Chud, what was going through your mind? Why did you feel like writing this? And most times it acts as a confirmation to whatever it. So at that point you were feeling it wasn't needed. It's for later. I started radio fully, like, let's say 3 years ago, and then I know that before I started radio fully, there were things I wrote about radio. There were dreams I had about radio. There were things I wanted to be on radio. There were, strategies I wanted to bring into radio to make myself different, or, the impact I wanted to make on radio. I wrote those things down before I got into radio. And now doing radio, sometimes it just seems like you forget why you started a particular thing. Because you have written that thing down, going back to see what you wrote would put you back into alignment on your purpose or on the reason why you started XYZ. So sometimes I go back to things I wrote in 2022, 2021 about my radio dreams. And when I read them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted to do. Yes, I would be doing some of them because, it's a subconscious state. It is already embedded in me that this is how I want to do radio. Then there are other things that I wanted to do, but I just wrote it at that moment. I didn't really think about it or meditate on it. It's not in my subconscious or conscious mind. Going back to reading it would now make me realize that, I need to start doing this, So whenever you have a dream or anything, just write it down. You never, ever fathom when you would need it. You would never fathom when you would need it. So I noticed I was talking about audacity, and I'm not going to lie. After January, but especially March and April, tested my willpower. It tested my willingness to want to do the things I need to do. I encountered friction when it came to me being confident, being outspoken, and being strong-willed. It made me realize that a lot of people don't like audacious people. especially when you are doing it to them, or especially when it's testing, a belief they have. And that was one thing I was scared of whenever I was being brave or courageous, whenever I was confronting someone about something they did, or whenever I was just like whenever I presented myself in a light of, this is not even faking it. I know that I have value, and I know that the value I'm bringing into this space matters. When I know for a fact that I'm operating from a place of power, I notice that someone somewhere is being repulsed by it, and it makes itself known, be it comments on social media, be it the criticism, the offhand criticism you get from people, or be it in the backbiting you get, in the opinions you hear of yourself afterward. And I'm not going to lie, because of the kind of nature I grew up with, which I'm trying so hard to destroy, likability, to make yourself likable. So if you're the kind of person that has never been audacious, or operating in audacity before, the reason why you might be doing that is because you want people to like you. Because nobody wants to be told what to do. Nobody wants to be told no to. So when you say no, when you say that, oh, this is my opinion, and that is how I'm going to do it, or when you don't shy away from what you want to say, people are like, who be this one? Who give this one permission to speak? It's kind of, you are almost scared to make somebody uncomfortable. You're almost scared to make somebody uncomfortable. You're scared. You're afraid that they will not like you because you're speaking too much, or because your voice is too loud. But flipping it back to yourself, are you comfortable speaking that way? Are you comfortable not saying what you want to say? Are you comfortable allowing your voice to be lost in the silence, in this whole vacuum? Are you comfortable? When you speak, do you feel it in your bones? Do you feel like, this thing I just said is what Chiwendo wanted to say? Are you not angry at yourself? Are you not tired of being tired that you're not sharing your opinions the way it's meant to be shared? You're not saying the things you want to say, or you're not doing the things you're meant to be doing. You're not showing up in the way you're meant to show up. Are you not tired? So for me, when I got tired of it, especially last year, I was just so tired. I was tired of showing up on my radio shows like I was not the host. It was somebody else that was hosting my show. I was tired of seeking permission, of asking somebody, is this the song I should play? Should I play this sweeper? Should I say this thing? Should I? Chiwendu, what is it? You know what you want to do. And you know if you do it, you're going to have the best time of your life. Of course, somebody will not like it. But Shebi is you that want to do it. So why can't you do it? So you notice you go through your life constantly seeking for permission from people. One thing I've realized is that we all know what it is exactly we want to do, but we're scared to do it. We are constantly waiting around for people to tell us go. And it will never ever make us happy. Because at some point, you just feel worthless in your own life. An analogy, you're the passenger, somebody else is the driver. They will drive you wherever they want to drive you to. So more so, yes, I wrote about it, taking charge of your life at the beginning of the year, but I didn't really understand it until, I don't even know what happened. Okay, I think we're discussing on a radio show about Burna Boy, Ruga, and what really makes these people stand out from every other artist, if you notice, is their cockiness, their confidence, their audacity. That's what makes them stand out from every other person. You like it? See, we like audacious people as humans, but we don't like when people are being confident on top of our head. Like, be audacious, do what you want to do, but don't come and question my own authority. Does that make sense? I don't know what you're waiting for, but this is your sign to go out and do what it is you want to do. If you make mistake, okay, it is time for you to learn and go back to the drawing board. I just hope that this resonates with you in any way, or in any shape, or in any form. I would suggest that you do the course by Julia Cameron. It's called The Artist Way. I don't think it's only for people that are off and off code doing creative things. I think it's for every human being, because when you read that book and do the things that are in that book, you will realize that your life is yours and there is nobody that can leave it for you. Nobody at all. So from me to you is, stay audacious and take charge of your life. Kisses until the next episode.